All right. Morning, everyone. Youngstown's Talk Channel. You have Joe and Kelin and special guest Paul's here again with us.
Special guest.
So good morning, everyone. I'll tell you, usually I mock Kelin for jamming to our opening music. And I found myself listening to, I cut off the podcast. I cut off the news. I've just been listening to nothing but freaking music. And
yeah.
it really does change
Life's
your
better.
brain. Music. Oh, it really does.
I'm telling you, like I was telling Joe weeks ago, I tried to like just disengage from anything negative for a while and just funny reels and music and fun stuff. And it'll change your life. It's like being back in the 90s.
It is
sort of.
So, but I don't know shit about anything that's going on. So if you said something in the news, I'm going to say, what, JFK just got assassinated a couple days ago?
Yeah,
that kind
really.
of thing. But so you have to catch me up. I know
crap.
What was the Oscars that was yesterday?
The Oscars were last night, which I missed.
Good.
So
as everybody should.
Yeah, I'm like catching up on social media, like reels and stuff like that. But
yeah.
I've been hearing more comments like that. Like from celebrities too, about like who cares about the Oscars.
Yeah.
And I'm like, uh-oh.
If you really love movies and you love acting and you love all of that, when you go there, you're not getting a sampling of anything that you like there. It's just a pompous tirade of political opinions.
Yeah, it kind of feels
funny
all
or interesting.
set up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like the Academy or whoever, you already know who they're going to pick.
Yeah. Usually
I don't know.
the worst movies win the awards and the best movies get shafted.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you guys seen any of the Oscar nominated films?
No. I don't know what they are, so maybe.
I only know Sinners was one because BJ, could you turn that fan on when you walk by it? Thank you. It's a scary movie. And I've been so surprised that like a horror film has been nominated for all kinds of awards. Michael B. Jordan is in it and he plays twin brothers. So he's playing two characters. So he's been nominated for all kinds of Best Actor awards. And I haven't seen it. And I'm dying to see it because it looks so, it's like a vampire movie.
That's actually a pretty good one.
Have you seen
that
it?
one? Yeah, I haven't seen any of the others, but I've seen that one.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like the
That's
only
actually
one
pretty good.
I know Leonardo DiCaprio has one that's been nominated, but I'm like, I just want to see Sinners because it looks creepy.
Well, I didn't even know the Oscars were movies until you guys connected the two. Oscars, Grammys, not even a clue.
Oscars, Grammys.
No idea. Yeah.
Actors Guild. I don't even fully understand what
For
the
sure.
Actors Guild is or does.
Yeah, even like with Rotten Tomatoes, the ones that the critics love, I freaking hate, and the ones that the public love, and they're
Yeah.
usually in opposites. If it's a terrible movie, the critics love it and the people hate it, and I'll go with the people.
Yeah, if it's anything that's like it's being judged based off of its artistic, technical, whatever. I'm like, I don't know. I just want to know if I was entertained. Like, did it entertain me or not?
Filmed by college freshmen.
Yeah.
That kind of movie.
And I just read recently, remember there's an AI actress. Have you heard of this?
No.
I've heard.
Is it Tilly something or begins? It sounds like Tilly. So they have created an AI actress. And so there's a lot of pushback like, no, we're not bringing AI into film and we got to support real human being actors. I just read that now she is getting into music too, I think. So it's going to be like this recording artist, celebrity, actress. I mean, how big do you think it's going to go? Like, is this going to be like a national celebrity that people love that isn't
she'll be
real?
licensed in TV and movies, and she will be as perfect as you can get. Everything
No,
that you love in
I'm
an
boycotting.
actress.
I'm not doing it.
Well, the thing is, like, they're going to sneak them in there and you're never going to know. You're going to fall in love with an actor or actress and then later on find that they were never real in the first place. And it's not going to matter by that point. You love them already.
Some of the biggest stars on TikTok are already AI.
Yeah.
Totally AI, totally fake.
I've seen like certain influencers that they're starting to use now to like advertise products. Like Ulta, I think, is a big one. And you think it's a makeup influencer and it's AI.
Doesn't matter if it is or not. It's giving you exactly what you want.
I don't like it.
Sorry, that bottle has been opened already.
Well, what were you saying before we started about they're going to be able to know all kinds of stuff about you?
Yeah, there's some older studies, and so these are 5 or 6 years old. So we're well beyond that now with what AI can do. But by the time you post your 6th or 7th interaction with a social media platform, so Facebook or X, not a prompt, just reacting, posting articles, it will know more about you than your doctor does accurately. And so that's how it feeds the algorithm. So it'll know everything. And then I think we ended right before we started with there's also some research that based on your buying habits, the company selling you product will know whether or not you are expecting before you know you're expecting, or whether or not your body senses it as an illness before you know you have an illness, just because of your buying habits.
Wow.
It's crazy what AI can do.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Yeah, Paul and I asked our agents what it knows about us. It was scary accurate. Scary.
It knows you.
Yep.
It knows you. So don't put anything personal into AI, because it will know all of your deep dark
And it'll
secrets
never forget
pretty
it,
fast.
ever.
It doesn't forget them. That's right.
Yeah, and most of the retail AIs, they are collecting information on you purposely. The reason you're getting it for free is because you're sharing with it.
Yeah.
And so everything you give it is becoming part of the larger model that the world knows about you. Every segment.
And I don't hate all of that. Like, a lot of people will put ad blockers on and they hate, like, oh, I'm being served all these ads because it's something related to what I've already purchased. I don't hate that. Because, like, if you serve me something I really like and I'm interested in, then okay, I do like it.
Why on principle that you will reject an actress that's perfectly what you want, but then collecting data about you, they're both giving you exactly what you want.
No.
Yeah, it's
Listen,
it's the
serving
same.
me an actual man-made product where there are humans behind the company and making it and selling it and they own the company is one thing. Total AI making a movie when a human being is supposed to be doing that is a little different.
No, that's chopping up. The principle's the same.
Now,
The principle's the same.
you're going to, like, for example, I get served a lot of ads for like clothing stores. And I'm like, ooh, that is a cute outfit. I do like that. But it's an actual man-made and run retailer.
Okay, and when the manufacturing process is all done by robotics, is it still man-made? When an algorithm's governing the business model and making its purchasing and paying its vendors, is it
I mean,
man-made?
it's definitely crossing over a bit.
Okay.
Didn't he start this out saying he's just going to be quiet today?
Shut up, Joe. Shut up.
So what do you think AI said about him?
Was AI like, are you one of us? Are you also just
Well,
algorithms?
It was close enough.
There was overlap for sure.
It said talk show king podcast.
No, I've told it specifically that I do not like fluff. Don't give me compliments. Don't be nice to me.
Really
Give me
Mhm.
data.
interesting.
And now Paul's, when he did it, it actually knew something about him creatively and part of his personality.
Ooh, it
Right.
stalks you a
Mine-
little more.
It got me.
Well, you have to have a personality.
That you're right. You're right.
That's why I go to AI. I have to find one there. So.
That's why the AI is like, I'm interacting with another bot, aren't
That's
I?
right.
And you're like, no,
That's
no, I'm real.
No, I don't care.
think.
It's more efficient if it doesn't, put it through any kind of filters for human nature or emotions or anything like that.
So do you think if I don't like, I don't know. I think I've used ChatGPT maybe twice ever. Once was trying to make those little caricatures, but I'm always on social media. So if I like put something into whatever you guys are putting stuff into, would it tell me a lot about myself?
Probably. Yeah, the back end of all the social media platforms are AI. So
Mhm.
things you've put into it make its
Yeah.
way into the larger model for sure.
All right. Well, dumb question.
Yeah.
What exactly are you doing when you're putting something in to AI? Like, are you on a site? Like, what is this?
Any digital footprint that you have, things that you've posted about yourself, things that you've prompted and shared information, it becomes
Yeah.
part of the larger whole.
Yeah.
When you Google yourself, you're basically telling an AI model to go fetch things that are related to you. So in order
Yeah.
for it to fetch things, it has to be somewhere, and you've placed a ton of data points out there about you. Just like he said, like if
Yeah.
it can key in on on trends and profiles, and if you match one of those profiles, its logic can put you in that camp, and that's what you are. Human beings aren't as unique as they think they are.
They are not.
We follow patterns
Yeah.
just like software follows
Yep.
patterns.
Be an interesting sociological experiment.
Yeah, so I've been an auditor for about 25 years in the IT world, and so there's a law called Benford's Law, and we would use this to help find crooks or thieves inside organizations. So most organizations will have, say, a loan limit, a lending limit, an expense limit, over which you have to get approval, under which you can slide things through. So like every day I can spend $59, right? Not just put in the expense. So what humans will do is they'll try to game that system, and they'll try to figure out how to get more money out of that system. And if you're of that kind of personality bend, you'll try to figure out a way to pull more dollars out of an authorized system than you're allowed, and you'll make up numbers. Humans are not random by any stretch of the imagination. So there's a mathematical theory called Benford's law, which I can run against every expense item you've ever put in, and it will identify all of the likely fraudulent ones because you picked a number that wasn't random. It's
Really?
Math is absolutely crazy, and humans are not random. Yeah.
Like have you noticed like a lot of humans for whatever reason, and they can pick it for their own reasons. A lot of humans are drawn to certain numbers. Like some people, like I am into 3s and 5s. To the point where like, and I just saw a reel about this on social media, so I know it's not just me. If I'm turning up the TV volume, like, don't stop on a weird number. You got to stop on a number that makes sense.
It's a little OCD, isn't it?
Yes, I'm very OCD. Like 10 is fine, 12 is fine, 15 is fine. You stop on 14, that's weird, and I'm
trying to think of what's related between those numbers, and I don't know. Just
as
personal...
a kid, I remember starting at thinking 3 siblings, me 2 brothers, 5 of us all together.
Okay.
3 siblings, 2 parents, 5 of us, 3 and 5.
All right.
I don't know why my brain made that connection and stuck with it.
But it did.
It did.
It did. That's crazy.
Yeah. And you hear like Taylor Swift's always talking about 13, lucky number 13. So she likes 13 and everything. So humans, for whatever reason, like come up. Oh, shut up, MLO bros. I feel like I'm a big fan of 6'7". You know, the whole 6'7" thing.
6'7".
My daughter is still doing that. And that's supposed to be done now. But
I never knew what it was. Yeah. Was I supposed to know what it was? Or
not
was
really.
I not
That's like the whole appeal of it is it started off as something on social media. There was a reel or a soundbite of somebody saying 6'7", and it may have even originated with talking about the height of a basketball player or something. And then they just ran with the soundbite of 6'7".
Okay.
And then kids got in touch with it. And they loved that the parents didn't know what they were talking about. So now nobody knows what they're talking about, but they're just saying it because it's the mystery number that nobody knows what anyone's talking about.
Got it. So it's not as creative as I was hoping it would be.
No, it's really dumb. It really is just dumb.
Now, do you have kids?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have 2 kids.
2 kids. So I have 5. Between my wife and I, we have 5.
Dang.
And so what I'll do, so my youngest is 16. So what we'll do is we'll try to go figure out the language. Like we'll just Google whatever the new language is, and then we'll go out to dinner and we will use it nonstop, completely inappropriately. It doesn't work. We have no idea what we're talking about.
That doesn't even work in
and
this
he's
situation.
just looking at us like, you guys are fools. You are just
like bet. My kids are always like, bet.
Oh, we'll do that. We'll do that.
Yeah, bet.
No cap.
No cap.
Apparently that's old though. I can't say that anymore. I was told that doesn't fly anymore.
Yeah.
But,
there was one I used recently. My kid said I used it correctly, and I can't remember what it was.
You probably amazed them at that point.
Oh, it was so cool.
Mom is so cool now. So
it was
using
so
the lingo.
cool.
Yeah.
Emmanuel says 14 is weird. It's got to be 4, 10, 14, 20, 25, and max. No, I'll give you 10, I'll give you 20, and I'll give you 25, but 4 and 14 are weird. I can't tell you why.
It must be the 4s. How's 24 feel for you?
I don't like it.
All right, must
Fives.
be the 4s. Got to be 5s.
And what's weird, though, is I like 3s, but 13's weird, too. I can't. No, 12, 15,
Well, that's the
20.
missing number on an elevator, right? 13?
Yeah, because of freaking Judas.
Yeah, like a 13th floor in a hotel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's because of Judas?
freaking Judas.
What? I've heard it's because it's bad luck.
Well, it's bad luck because of freaking Judas.
How does that
The
tie in?
13th disciple that rats out and sabotages.
Is that really why?
Yes, of course it is.
I never knew.
I mean, there's a lot of other,
13
mythologies
ghosts
that it's connected to, but it became, you don't want a Judas on your team for sure.
We didn't know that because when they edited the Bible, they took out frickin'. That word was removed. And so
Yeah.
now it's just Judas. So there's
Friggin'.
no frickin'.
They replaced it with no
In
cap.
the original Greek. Yeah, that's right.
I brome out, bruh, with my boys and started saying it, and all 3 of them stopped because I'm lame.
Oh, yeah.
Cringe
Oh,
is the
broke
proper
out.
word.
There's one way to clear the 6-7. That's where you start saying it, and they don't want to say it
Nope,
anymore.
it's
Oh
dead.
my gosh,
The boomers
yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
6, 7. I was like, listen, in my day it was 3, 6, 9. That's still what it is. You guys don't get that? Wow. 3, 6, 9. Damn, she fine. Shake it to me one more. BJ, please tell me you get it. I know BJ's back there like, I get it. MLO bros probably get it.
Yeah. All right, what else?
Bruh.
What else?
BJ doesn't get it.
See?
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Get Low, 369.
Oh, that's a song.
Yes.
All right, I'm halfway there.
We're getting there. We're getting there. 369. Damn, she fine. I told you they'd get it. Get low. Get low. Get low.
All right. What are we doing for St. Patrick's Day? What's the origin of this thing? Is it interesting?
Ooh, it is interesting because I'm Irish. You're not Irish.
Nope.
Definitely
You're not Irish?
Not Irish, no.
Do you know I had somebody say to me on Friday, they looked at me and they said, "You look Irish. Are you Irish?" I said, "I am." How did they know? How did he know that?
No, you hide the Irish so easily.
I said, "I am." My maiden name was Bannon. Kelin Bannon is about the most Irish name you can get. So I think St. Patrick's Day is fun. I'm old though, so I didn't do anything over the weekend except watch Boondock Saints.
I watched
Boondock
it twice.
Saints. There you go.
Did you?
Twice, yeah.
I love that movie.
Mhm.
Did you drink green beer?
No, I didn't drink anything.
No, I had a drink. I was watching the beer. My day is 25 or 6 to 4. Isn't that weird? People have numbers. You have numbers you just feel comfortable with or drawn to or you use.
So that's a Chicago song. So I wonder
Is it?
what's the background of that guy? 25 or 6 to 4 is Chicago.
Yeah.
25 or 6.
You got to be a boomer to get that one, probably.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I don't get that one.
Yeah.
I'm an older
Chicago's awesome.
millennial.
You should listen to that.
I do like the band Chicago.
Yeah.
Isn't that hard to say I'm sorry?
Mm-hmm. Don't get me start singing Chicago songs because I will. I will.
Gonna let her out.
Sorry for me to say I'm sorry. What number are you drawn to?
No, just dealing with math. I do patterns and things that work mathematically and things that are harder to get to work. So I'm a very predictable numbers. Can't say that I have a favorite, but I have favorite patterns.
But are there numbers that you're like, I can't stop on that number? I'm not comfortable. Like,
No.
we gotta do one
Like
more,
if your
one
change
less.
is 666, I mean, does that mean anything to you? No. I'm not going to overspend for the sake of a number.
I mean, I've heard like 3 a.m. is significant.
Like witching hour.
Yeah,
I
or
wake
like
up at
scary
3 a.m. all the
movies. They
time.
always say like 3 a.m. is like the evil time because it's evil spirits mocking the Trinity.
Mhm.
And I saw that in a scary movie, so they were making it scary. And now anytime I wake up at 3 a.m., I am a little bit freaked out,
Mhm.
just a little bit. Where you
Yep.
like run back to your bed real quick.
Yep.
Is there anyone more wussy than Peter Cetera?
It's hard to say.
Is he
I'm
wussy?
sorry after all.
All that we've been through.
Why is Peter Cetera considered a wussy?
I don't know. Why
His
is he a
high-pitched voice?
wussy?
Is it his tone? Is
You know who
is he
weirds?
feminine?
You know who weirds me out is what's his name? Geddy Lee? Is that Rush?
That's Rush.
Man, he weirds me out.
He does.
He's a weird looking guy. He's a weird sounding guy. I have a friend that just like Rush is his favorite band, and I don't get it. I just don't get the appeal of Rush. You know who I love is Queen.
Why?
Queen was great.
I like almost every Queen song I've ever heard. There's maybe just a couple that I'm like meh, but it's probably the one band I can think of. Journey's a close second that I just really like everything they did.
I think the things that are most impressive in music are when someone breaks out and doesn't want to be cookie cutter. Like you had the Princes and the Hendrix, people who really pushed the edges of what wasn't being done
Yeah.
and they invented things in music. Those are my favorite.
Yeah. Now a lot of people I think will try to copy them.
Yes.
But the original was like, whoa, that's different.
Yep.
Like Queen was known to dabble in opera and rock and pop all in one. And
Yep.
it was cool. Now everybody just copycats them.
AI is going to do that too. Like I think the real artist,
And it won't be real.
it'll
it'll
get,
be
we'll
fake.
like it. The hooks will be the same. The lyrics will be awesome. The beats will be awesome. It'll be completely curated just for every listening taste. It's going to be amazing.
There was an AI song, I think, recently or last year, maybe. Wasn't there a band? Everybody was trying to figure out if they were real or
They're still
not.
going.
Are they real or not?
What? Real AI? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Real AI.
Real
It's
AI. Yeah.
real AI.
Totally real.
It's real in the AI realm.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing to be worried about, though, now, isn't it? Because I mean, we've been talking about voice overlays, changing people's tone in the studio. We've been listening to fake music for 25 years,
Yeah,
and so now
auto-tune.
we seem to be okay if the originator was human, but then we completely digitize it and make it fake. But if it starts
Yeah.
out fake, for some reason, that's a hurdle that we struggle with.
Yeah, half our population uses filters to present a fake version of themselves, and
Oh my
then
gosh.
Yeah.
we're outraged when the music we listen to might be put through a filter.
Snapchat filters.
Mm-hmm.
I have been trying.
Nobody's real anymore.
Yeah, I've been trying to do when I was younger, or like maybe when Snapchat first came out, I was really enthralled with filters, but more and more I try not to use them because it's not real. And I'll be out with girlfriends and girls always want to take pictures and they're like, well, let's put a filter on it. And I'm like, no. And I'll complain about how I look. I'm like, that's a terrible photo. I look terrible. And they'll say, well, we'll put a filter on it. And I said, I'd rather look terrible and be real than only look good because you put a filter on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to push back. I'm going to start a revolution right there with the
I
bright
think
headlights.
the first one I ever noticed in culture was I learned that women, when they buy jeans, will buy jeans that have lower sizes, so that manufacturers started making jeans with lower numbers when they weren't the real size. So there was like
Vanity
they
size.
almost created a
Yeah.
lie so that you would sell more things. So I think women started the lie.
Yeah. Which, I mean, first of all, don't even get me started on trying to buy jeans or pants. Like, I don't know if men have to deal with this. Speaking of numbers, there is literally no rhyme or reason. Every single pair of jeans or pants for women is different. It could be the exact same brand in the exact same size, and they will fit differently, like wildly differently.
Do you know our pants? They're two measurements, right? Around
Yeah.
the waist and to the feet. Right?
Yeah.
And you can replicate it by using your own little tape measure and prove that the things on the back, right, are
Yeah.
what the pants actually are, because we deal in more logic and truth. Women, they start making up numbers. So now like a 0 might be anywhere from 28 to 105 and
Yeah.
everything in between.
Why?
Because it was predicated on lies.
I mean, I have gone to stores where I could buy a small in something when I'm normally a large,
Mhm.
and that makes me feel good.
Right.
And I want to go to that store
you
more.
guys
It's a
wrecked-
vanity
You
size.
guys wrecked measure.
But I've had shorts before where I went to one store and bought this same pair of shorts in two different colors.
Mhm.
Same store, same size, same shorts, two different colors. One of them I had to wear a belt with, and the other was too small.
We're getting there, though. If you go look at, are you surprised that he's actually measured to make sure that
You measure all your.
he's
you
actually
take it
gone
to
through the experiment?
Not surprised. I know
Experiment,
neither
no,
of you
that's right.
are.
And he's like, the y-axis is just a little off from the x-axis of the jeans and the.
We are
So much truth.
we are kind of going that way, though. So I had to go buy a pair of jeans, and I'm obviously not in my earlier days shape, right? And so I'm getting a pair of jeans that are making me feel bad because of how big they are, but they have athletic large jeans now, and I thought,
Oh yeah.
I'm athletic. I'm athletic now.
'Cause you
So
got those
I
quads?
got the quads. I got the athletic
Yeah.
version of these jeans, not the normal one. So at
Yeah.
least it made me feel better that way. So
See?
lie to me.
We're
Yeah.
dabbling
That's
in,
right.
in untruths.
You're
Feed me the
so
filters you
buff
need.
that you got to get the
I got to
athletic
get the
clothing.
athletic jeans. That's right. So
happens.
we're trying.
It happens. I hate buying clothes. You know what I've been considering doing? And when I say I've been considering, I mean as of yesterday. It's a thought in my head. I'm considering maybe giving up sugar for an extended period of time. And that's going to be incredibly hard.
Mm.
And so I don't know if I'm going to do this or not. I've heard of other people that have started and how amazing they feel. And I'm not even saying all sugar. I just mean like the noticeable, like
All
the,
right, can I
the
translate?
treats. Yeah.
My name is Kelin, right? And I'm doing heroin right now, and I'm considering not doing heroin anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to stop doing all heroin. I'm going to do
Yeah.
heroin sometimes. So
Right.
what would your advice be to Kelin, the heroin addict? Dabble a little bit, or just give it
I
up?
mean, giving up some is better than not giving up any.
Okay,
Wouldn't you think?
there's some truth to that.
But the thing is like the obvious stuff, like, the sweets and the pop or things like that, I don't have a whole lot of anyways. So I'm like,
why would you say, if you were to be giving advice to a heroin addict, what would the downside to doing just a little bit of heroin? What warning can you give that person?
It's bad for you and it could kill you. Even a
and
little
maybe
bit.
it would lead to more heroin at different times.
Yeah.
But cold turkey, just not doing heroin for a non-heroin injector, right? I could
Yeah.
see it is possible to just do no heroin, right? Just give it up completely and
What
kill
do you
the
think of
entire
my
addiction.
idea of giving up a little sugar?
She's not liking my answer.
She's not liking
at
it,
all.
so I already gave it up.
It
So
seems like-
I'm like, just cut it out.
You've done it before?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Was
Just
it
cut it out.
difficult?
It's difficult for a week, maybe.
Yeah.
And then you adjust. And just
Now,
like everything else.
Are you talking about all sugar,
Oh,
meaning
yes.
carbohydrates?
Oh yes.
All of it.
Oh yes.
Okay, I'm not going to go that hard.
Yeah.
I'm just like the obvious added sugar.
Well, I mean, you can go down to, some vegetables have carbs in them and stuff
Right,
like that. So you
yeah.
can go down to that, but it's the processed foods, the refined sugar that they put in it, all of it gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
all
added
of it.
sugar, the breads, the
Gone,
sweets,
yeah.
things like that.
Gone. Yeah.
I don't know.
So I was at my doctor's about 2 weeks ago. And so at my age, you sit down with a cardiologist and every other type of doctor you have, right? And so we're talking to him about family history of cholesterol and things like that. And I don't like medicine at all. I don't like taking prescriptions. And I certainly don't like taking a prescription that makes me take another one because of what this one does and another one because of what this one does. And I'm arguing with him about, I don't want to take some of this stuff, right? And first time ever, I got him to admit that about 85% of our cholesterol problems are from DNA or from your genetic makeup, right?
Mm.
The other 15 are food. So he's like, kind of go eat what you want. It's not going to make that big of a deal, except processed foods and sugars. He said those things inflame your body, and then your natural response is to create a protection against that flame, which turns into plaque.
Yeah.
And then you have cholesterol in your blood that's trying to fight through the plaque. He says, like, if you can get rid of processed food and sugars in your life, I would be way more happy than if you ate bacon and eggs every day for breakfast.
Yeah.
Way more happy. Yeah, it's incredible.
So, and I've heard of the whole cholesterol thing because there's been people that I know that were incredibly healthy from our standards,
Mhm.
but the cholesterol was through the roof. And they're like, what the heck is going on?
They had a good filter.
Yeah.
That's right.
I go off the charts every cholesterol reading because I do take high cholesterol foods, but my body's in a different state, so it treats it differently.
Yeah.
It's
Like
really
I've
important.
been concerned.
Cholesterols are very important.
I eat a lot of eggs because I'm trying to get more protein in my
Yeah,
life.
for sure.
Yeah.
And so that's something you hear is, oh, you better watch for
Yeah.
yolks and watch cholesterol. And I'm like, seems all right.
Mhm.
But a friend of mine, I started talking about the no sugar thing yesterday too, is I have a good friend of mine that has really bad RA. I mean, she was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at the age of 3. She has had multiple surgeries. She's got more surgeries on the way. And she got sick for a couple of days and didn't eat much. And so she's like, simply because I didn't feel well, I didn't have an appetite. I had no sugar, no alcohol, no all these things.
Mhm.
And she's like, I cannot believe how good I feel because the inflammation came down.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, I kind of want some of that
Oh yeah. There's
low inflammation.
I know Joe's experienced with some of the stuff in the past, but so when you give that stuff up, you kind of go through your body changes. It digests food differently, and so some of that stuff changes. But your attentiveness goes way up. Your mental
Yeah.
acuity actually gets noticeably better. The amount of sleep that you need goes down. The amount of food you eat actually goes down because you don't have that craving to kind of keep eat, which is like a fake hunger.
Yeah.
It's incredible when you start to cut that stuff out, what your body actually adjusts to and goes through. It's amazing. I mean,
yeah.
you'll lose weight on it. There's some benefits to that, but just your body's reaction to it. And then if you give up stuff for a period of time and say, okay, I've given up sugar and I'm pretty cool with that now. I can get through a day without eating, sugar, and say, maybe I'm just not going to eat for a day and a half. Right. And I'm going to fast.
Oh, no.
So
That's what Joe
scares the
does.
heck out of people. And I had a brother-in-law used to do it. I'm like, why in the heck are you putting yourself through that pain and problem? Right. He would fast for about a week. He'd do it about once a month.
Oh,
But your body actually starts to go through an autophagy stage where it actually starts to clean itself out and get rid of some of the old dead cells and replace them with new cells. Your body's phenomenal when you stop putting crap in it.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
phenomenal at dealing with crap so that you can continue to live and survive. But when you start to take it out, it's just, you will feel so much different a week from now when you're on the show with Joe if you stop eating sugar today.
That's what I've
That
heard.
might be an experience for you guys to
Mhm.
talk about.
Are you making a public commitment that that's what you're doing?
Not
or you
yet.
just start flirting?
No,
with this?
I'm flirting with the idea.
Okay. What's it going to take to push you? I want to encourage.
Listen, again, can we start with just like the obvious sugary stuff? Just like cut that out? Like,
Well, it's okay. So here are your choices, right? You
Okay.
can either play the lottery and go for the big money, do the hard thing that's very unlikely for you to see it through,
yeah.
or you can play like the lottery light, where you're going to win a little bit, right? And it's going to
Yeah.
be easier to win, but I don't think that's going to put that big high in it, because I think you're going to get a dose of the benefits in such small increments that it's
Yeah.
not going to be noticeable. But if you went full lottery and you win, right, then
Yeah.
you're going to be bought in that there's huge changes that come.
But
with it.
sugar is in freaking everything.
Oh, I know. We go through
Everything.
this regularly. What they sneak in and what you have to, there's a responsibility and discipline behind it for sure.
Well, let's go after this from a Jordan Peterson view. You guys know who Jordan Peterson
Yeah.
is? Okay.
Yeah.
So Jordan Peterson's got this theory where if you're struggling to attain a goal, right, his answer is you're not shooting low enough, which sounds really bogus and backwards.
Hmm.
But the idea is, if I told you no more sugars from this point forward, and you committed on the air to do that. So like from this moment, no more sugars, no Diet Coke, no cookies, no pasta, no sauce on your chicken, no
Ranch?
glaze on your, no ranch,
God, I
no
quit.
blue cheese. Like
Quit.
She's
and you
out
get rid of
already.
it, you're out, right?
Yeah.
The goal's too high.
Yeah.
So your goal should be low enough that you see success, and then the human part of you kicks in and starts to respond to that reward factor, and you get better.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. So as opposed to Joe saying, don't do any more heroin, I'm happy if you do a little bit more heroin for the next week, but we move towards zero, over maybe the course of
If
a
you
month.
have
Yeah.
the discipline
You
to
gotta have
keep
the discipline.
adjusting the goal.
And see,
Right.
that's what I have done in my life. Like I have started with, let's just count the carbs. Let's just get so many in a day. And then it was, I'm going to commit to working out regularly, even if it's not a difficult workout.
Mhm.
I didn't break a sweat. I didn't lift a whole lot, but I did it. And then when I come back the next day, I didn't really break a sweat. I didn't lift a whole lot, but I did it. And then after being consistent, I'm like, all right, it's a habit for me now. It's something I do consistently. Let's beef it up.
Mhm.
Now I'm going to, and
That's
I
safe
have
play.
started these. And then about 2 years ago, I went gluten-free. And that I will say is the one time I literally one day said, I'm done with gluten, and never touched it again, except on accident. I've had it on accident
Well,
here and there.
Here's
But
the thing. Like, if I were to look in your brain, you really like sugar. Like, you
Oh,
really
yeah.
like it. So you're breaking up with a friend that you adore. It's not that you
Yes.
that you hate sugar. It's now that you're just depriving yourself of something that you really, really, really like.
yeah.
That's the hardest part of the sugar addiction, is that in a moment of weakness, right, you're going to invite that friend right back because you like them so much.
And there's habits like, yeah, I when I was Googling some information, it said the first like 48 to 72 hours are the worst because you're not getting the dopamine hits you're used to.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But we have habits like, because I try not to have too much junk food all the time, I give myself Fridays. And every Friday night, I call it my fat-free Friday. I say, my daughter loves to bake. And I said, you're gonna bake something on Friday, and we're going to have cookies, or we're going to have brownies, or I'm going to do my weekly sweet treat. And so that, like, it's just it's just something we do that I'm going to have to be like, we got to find something else interesting
Well,
about
substitutions
Fridays.
help a lot too. So like
Yeah.
if you take chicken and you slather on some kind of sauce,
Yeah.
well, I know there's sugar in sauce. So I'll take
Yeah.
hot peppers and I'll slather my chicken in hot peppers. Now I've gotten something more than just chicken, and I get endorphins from having just eaten hot peppers. Different chemical
Yeah.
substitute, right? Instead of the dopamine you get from the sugar, you get a little bit of pain and pain receptor coverage in the endorphins.
Because I will say, even though I made some healthy swaps in what I eat, condiments are huge for
Oh, yeah.
me. I put yum yum sauce or ranch
You're hosed.
or
You
Chick-fil-A
are so
sauce.
hosed.
I put on everything.
Hot peppers. I do a lot of mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is a really fat.
You could do
high-
mayonnaise?
Oh,
Oh,
heck yeah.
There's no
lots of
sugar in
mayonnaise.
mayonnaise?
Well, you got to use real mayonnaise.
Real.
Mayonnaise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Real
And
mayonnaise is just eggs and oil.
I could do that. I like mayonnaise.
And Red Hot. Red Hot's like my favorite
I'm a
go-to.
whip
Little,
with
little.
hot.
Yep.
It's too spicy.
So those are my three go-tos. Everything that in my house has cheese and one of those three things.
What about sugar-free stuff? Have you found like, is the sugar-free stuff actually sugar-free?
As long as they don't put a chemical substitute in for it, if it's truly sugar-free, like if you eat
Like
applesauce,
no
for
stevia
instance.
or something.
Stevia's, I don't like stevia because I want to get away from the taste of sugar, even if it doesn't have a caloric, response or no insulin response. I just want to not deal with it. But I mean, it's safe as far as like, it's not going to do the same thing to your body to cause inflammation.
Like I've seen sugar-free brownie mix. Is that truly sugar-free?
I don't know. Read the ingredients. I mean, you got to get good at knowing what they're putting in there to be able to claim sugar-free.
So we all aren't as rabid and maniacal on topics as this gentleman right here, right?
Just a smidgen.
Just a smidgen, right?
It's a little harsh.
So
Just a
the fact that he went sugar-free,
That's a good word.
carb-free, and I was figuring out the different receptors that respond to peppers versus sugar.
smidgen.
And then, right? So we should all consider that to just be the path that he's on. But if you start to go through this stuff and you go, okay, I'm going to kill sugars, right? I'm going to take, and we talked about this last time, like a bias towards progress, just taking small steps towards something better. And then you start to figure out, all right, what's better because I'm not taking sugar. And then you go, I'm going to do stevia. And then you go, there's chemicals in stevia, right? And so you start to go through this mind process. And then what happens is you start to get to a point now where you're kind of comfortable. So is sugar-free brownie sugar-free? Yeah, but they've got some chemicals in it. So do you want the chemical substitute that replaces sugar the same way cocaine replaces a receptor in your brain?
Like
right?
Diet Pop.
Diet Pop's the same thing, one of the most addictive things in the world. To Joe's point, I tried to stop using stevia. So I'll have unsweetened tea where I used to say, give me sweetened tea and give me the stevia. And I feel good because I didn't take sugar. But what was happening is I was never breaking the habit of having something sweet. Ever, right? And you see that a lot in like the keto world or the keto world. Here's your sugar-free cookie. Here's your sugar-free ice cream. Here's your sugar-free chips. And so now you're still snacking as much as you used to.
Yeah.
Right? And the moment you kick off a keto, you're snacking on everything regular again, and then you balloon.
Yep.
So it's just a process, and if you can start to take a step in the right direction, then eventually you won't even care that you don't have sweets anymore.
So tell me if it'll help with this. And this will be a major push. I've had a bad neck for years and years. And I've heard everything from discs protruding to torn ligaments to arthritis. I don't know. Every doctor has a new theory. Nobody has ever been like, why does my neck hurt 24/7? And sometimes, like lately, it gets to the point that it is so bad, it makes me dizzy and my vision goes blurry. And I'm like, I can't tolerate this anymore. Do you think sugar will bring that down and
100%.
quell that?
Yeah, there's some indirect things that will happen too, because
Yeah.
you reduce inflammation. Now, instead of your body fighting the inflammation that you're causing, it can actually repair things. So if there's damage in your neck, it can start working on other projects, right?
Yeah.
Second, a lot of the foods you eat when you're avoiding sugar add collagens and things that help the natural tissues that were inflamed at one point rebuild and get some elasticity in them. So indirectly, you solve the problem on two fronts.
That's a big motivator. Like if somebody were like, legit, your neck will feel 100% better, I would probably try it.
There are some amazing studies about no carb, very low carb. So you're eliminating all sugar and processed foods to get low carb, almost all of it.
Yeah.
Now, whether they pan out over time is different, but the idea that you remove all the inflammation from your body helps your heart, helps your head, helps your mental situation, helps joints that are inflamed, necks that are inflamed.
Oh, my
It's not going to
knees.
rebuild bone, right? It's not going to put muscle back together.
Yeah.
But the inflammation that's in the body that causes a lot of that pain, and then the aggravation, and then the chemical response like plaque that the body gives back, all that stuff immediately starts to get better. All of it.
Yep. And Brian says, is sugar truly as bad for you as the after effects of the sugar replacements? Now, not all sugars are the same. What Paul and I are talking about is like the refined sugars, the things that your body doesn't have to do anything to be able to get access to the glucose. Like if you ate fruit is way different than if you eat a popsicle, right?
Yeah.
A popsicle is just ready to be delivered as an immediate energy source. The fruit has to be done. The body has to do stuff to it in order to get the usable glucose. Way different thing. But what you want to do is pretty much every food is rated based on its insulin response, your glycemic index. And a really high number means that how quickly it can be delivered. A really low number is, the body has to work a little harder to get it. So pay attention to what you're eating and how big of a response your body is. If you cut it out completely, then your body has to do things like ketones instead of glucose, right? And so if
Yeah.
you're eating too little, it has to get its energy from somewhere else. You're not getting it from sugar. But most people run exclusively on glucose and what the liver can deliver to that energy system.
So can I still have fruits and vegetables and things of that nature?
Small quantities, yeah. And I will tell you, like when you get to that phase, the sugar, the sweetness in a fruit is sometimes a little overwhelming and way more than you're comfortable eating. But we're so desensitized to it that our body can't give us biofeedback when we're eating too much of something.
Yeah, I heard that everything now gets sweeter. And actually, if you go back and you like cheat or you eat kind of that processed sugar, it doesn't taste as good anymore.
It almost tastes bad. It's just too sweet. Like it's just too sweet.
Ooh,
and you can immediately then start to understand fake sugar from real sugar too. So when you go back and you drink that Kool-Aid, you're like, oh my gosh. But if you put a dip of honey in your coffee, right, that is going to taste better. But you can start to figure out the manufactured chemical sugar over the real sugar at the same time.
Yeah, I used to love old fashions, bourbon guy, and the sweeteners that they use in old fashioned are too much for me to stomach. I can't even drink it anymore.
Yeah.
And that's kind of subtle. I mean, it's a sugary drink, but it's shouldn't be. Normal people would not get blown out of the water. With
like I can't do margaritas because it's just juice. It's pure acidic juice, and I'm just like, bleh. Oh, it's too much. In fact, we were talking about St. Patrick's Day. My one drink I had was tequila and club soda because I was like, it's not going to bloat me. It's gluten-free. It's clear. It's whatever. And I still made it green and everything. But like, I even started, if I'm going to have a drink, it's going to be something like, agave tequila over something that's super.
Isn't that so good?
Agave tequila. I mean, I don't know if it's good, but it doesn't make you feel as shitty as other things does. I don't know if I'd be like, yummy, that's tasty.
Oh, I don't know.
I have to like squeeze limes in it and stuff. Or is that adding sugar?
No, your body processes those clear liquors and whiskeys way different than it does all other drinks.
Yeah.
And so like it'll pause, like, using your normal energies as the liver really goes into hyper gear to break that stuff down. But it goes through your system relatively quickly.
Because I started on tequila also when I went gluten-free, but also somebody told me it doesn't make you anxious like other alcohol does. Because I don't know, over the last several years, when I drink alcohol, my anxiety goes through the roof. And for no reason, I just get really worried and nervous and something bad's going to happen. And especially when I'm coming off of it. And somebody said tequila doesn't do that as much.
I have a question for you guys because I literally want to know. I could ask Grok, but you're in front of me right now.
Okay.
You're my Grok. There was I was watching a show. I think it might have been like Bourdain or one of those Discovery. And in Amsterdam, they had a liquor that was like green that made you hallucinate.
Absinthe.
Absinthe? Is that a real thing?
It is.
What is it? Is it a drug?
I don't know.
Is it a?
It's you might know more about this than me. My only experience with it is I have heard that they do have like, it looks like leaves. I don't know. They put something in it. Supposedly makes you hallucinate. My only experience is probably BS. Many, many, many years ago, I was probably 22 maybe. Someone I knew ordered a bottle of what was claimed to be absinthe from, I don't know, the internet somewhere.
Well, then it was sure.
Oh yeah, it was totally legit.
It wasn't fentanyl liquefied,
it showed
right?
up.
No.
It was brown in color and it had noticeable leaves, something in it. It tasted horrific. All I was like, this is basically just horrific tasting alcohol. So I don't know for sure, but I've heard, they put something in it that is.
You know anything about it?
You'd have to drink a lot of it. You'd
Really?
have to drink a lot of it. Yeah. So there are leaves in it, but you have to drink a lot of it. If you're drinking enough of that to hallucinate, you probably have other problems before you got to
When you've seen it,
to that point.
is it green or is it greenish brown?
It's greenish brown.
Okay, so maybe, and there was a picture of, was it Da Vinci that cut off his ear while drinking it?
Yes.
So there was a picture of him on the label.
Yes.
So,
we
maybe
have
this
it.
was real absinthe.
Yeah, we have. It's interesting though that you said you can't drink old fashions anymore because they're too sweet. So used to be a beer guy all the time, and which is ironic because I don't drink beer now, even though we make it. And so I switched to bourbon and whiskey because it had no carbs and no sugar in it.
Yeah.
Right. Now I drink scotch because bourbon is too sweet. If you drink
crazy?
yeah,
Crazy.
you just start to change those
Do you
taste
say
buds.
I like scotch, scotchy scotch, scotch?
I'm going to now. It'll be in my head all day.
What's
You
your
have many
go-to scotch? If I were
leather-bound
to
books.
come down and what would you recommend for a scotch?
So
I don't think I've had any.
So my journey has moved pretty far into the peaty of the Scotch. So kind of think campfire, moss. We jokingly call it sweaty socks. I mean, just
Ew.
Okay.
like if you open up a really strong Scotch, it has an extremely pungent smell that you don't taste it that way. But so there's a Scotch right now. So Macallan would be the one that I would say if you're going to kind of try to move from bourbon into Scotch, you would go Macallan because it's got some flavors in it. And Scotch is actually aged in bourbon barrels, so you can still get some of the sweet to it. If you move into the different parts of the island, down on, I think it's the Inslee Islands, which are the islands on the south, it gets really peaty, so really smoky campfire, peat moss type. Their dirt is basically peat, and so it absorbs all that flavor. So if you would look at a Macallan has a measurement called a ppm. I can't remember what ppm stand for, but it's the measurement of peatiness in it. And a Macallan's probably 25 or 30. Right, it doesn't really mean anything without comparison. And Ardbeg is about 50 to 55, and most people smell that and go, "Oh my goodness." There's a Bjorkliden Octomore, which we have two of them at the bar. One of them is 109, and one of them is 112. And we're buying one that's 190 next week, and then the world record's 309. So I'll drink the Octomore because it is so peaty. But it's really strong.
I have a dumb question.
Man.
What's peaty?
So it tastes like, so imagine tasting a campfire. So you're out in the middle of the woods and it's humid. You're in the middle of the trees and there's moss growing and there's a creek behind you. And you kind of got that ambiance or flavor of that setting. Put that in whiskey. And it becomes very clear and it just got a pungentness. And then you smell that when you open it up. And so a lot of people will open up the Scotch and smell it and go, that's a good Scotch because of that smell. But there's no sweetness in it. So I would take you to a Macallan to get you to move over. And then pretty soon we'd have
Well, next time we visit, remind me of this conversation
Sure.
and give me a sampling of something you think that would be a good transition.
Can I ask what bar this is?
So
bar?
Brew Lounge in Columbiana.
Brew Lounge.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
up
think
by
I've ever
Firestone
been
Farms.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing
So
place.
that's our place. So
Very cool.
yeah. So what we do not serve people too much absinthe though, because we don't want hallucinations happening in the bar.
We're
Right. So we shut them down.
I'm not wondering if
That's right.
that's really what I had then.
Well, the
was real
presentation
absinthe.
was they had some kind of media that was the liquor part, and then they had this little drip thing that went into the liquor and it turned it green.
Mhm.
And that's the
Bright
one I want.
green?
I remember it being like green alcohol. Is this a
Like a Midori color?
I don't remember. It was a long time
Yeah.
ago. But it was a whole process. It was like when you create an old fashioned and they do the smoke and they put it into that thing. There's a big presentation.
Yeah.
To it.
Yeah.
I want the presentation on the absinthe. And by the way, Midlick says it was Van Gogh cut off his ear.
He's right.
Van Gogh. That's right.
Yeah.
It was Van Gogh. Yeah. So there was a picture of Van Gogh on the label. It was very muddy brown color and it looked like leaves and stuff all through it. And I tasted it and I was like, okay, if I drank enough of this, which would be difficult because it tasted horrendous, I could see getting like just like a buzz from any other alcohol. I didn't feel any different than, I felt like I drank alcohol. But what about is it Willie Nelson that has like THC infused whiskey or something like that?
Mhm.
Have you guys tried anything that has like the THC in it? Is
No.
that different?
No, he and that what was it, Cheech or Chong, that does the same thing. They infuse THC in just about every drink and food that you can get. Yeah, I'm not a big THC fan, so that doesn't interest me at all.
Have you ever tried it?
I have. But
Is it any good or?
It's okay. So you can't sell it in Ohio anymore through an establishment like ours. So we used to have it on the shelves. We had to take it off. So when we found it on the shelves, like, I wonder what that tastes like. And so we took a sip of it or so. It's not that good.
Not that good.
Yeah.
Penguin City had one a couple years ago.
I didn't
and
like
I
it.
tried it. It was,
Do you just feel like you just had alcohol?
it's no different. Yeah, a little
Yeah.
buzziness. That's about
That's
that.
that's
When
what
I say
got with this
buzziness, I don't
thing.
mean like you get high. You just feel buzziness in your brain, and I don't like that feeling.
Interesting. Buzziness in your brain.
Yeah. People listening, watching will know exactly what I'm talking about.
You guys know what buzziness in your brain is?
Buzziness in the brain.
BJ said a good cheaper scotch is monkey shoulder.
Oh, it's great.
Monkey shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know. I'm not a big Scotch bourbon whiskey person. I'd be more of like a vodka, rum, lately tequila mixed drink.
Yeah, rum no
person.
good, vodka good, gin good.
What about espresso martinis? Is there a lot of sugar in that, you think?
A lot of sugar in that. Yeah. Anything
God,
martini, anything margarita.
Lemon drops.
If you see a woman
so
drinking a
much
drink,
sugar.
it's entirely sugar based.
I like lemon drops, and that's very sugary.
Yeah, your espresso martini will have as many carbs as a can of Coke.
Oh.
And it's not the vodka or gin you put in it or the espresso. It's the middle stuff that makes those two things taste good together. It's the chocolate wine or the liqueur you put in it.
The good
Tastes
stuff.
good.
Yeah.
Not the good part.
Yeah. It's so
I guess
good,
you
though.
couldn't really have wine then either, huh?
Wine's a different animal. It's treated a little differently. I mean, high sugar content for sure, though.
What about like I keep seeing, is it Grazie or something, like all this like low sugar wine and stuff like that? I'm not going to be allowed to have anything if I do this. Anything.
Well, you'll just drink a lot of vodka and tequila and gin.
Yeah,
and
to make
whiskey.
life
Gotta be
have
your
meaning
coping.
again.
That's
Total
right. You'll be
coping.
Because
coping again.
life will have
That's
no
right.
meaning anymore.
Well, we're going downtown tomorrow, and we're going to do a bar crawl with a bunch of us. And I'm not in a drinking mode whatsoever, and I don't know how I'm going to enjoy it. But I'm going to be amongst people who are enjoying the.
Oh, you're
great
going to go do that
breweries here.
sober?
The whole thing.
That's not going to be fun.
You'll have to get your mocktail.
You're the only one.
Get
Yeah.
your mocktail game on.
Yeah, that's what
I
what
know.
Ryan told me this morning, and I said I'm not really gonna partake in anything. It was like, just get those virgin ones, and I'm like, those virgin ones are doped up with so much sugar. I'm gonna be miserable.
Yeah. And my friend and I, we were saying, oh yeah, we need to go out again, but if we're trying to cut sugar and booze, we'll just find a mocktail. And she's like, so water, basically.
Yeah.
But that's when you have someone else doing it with you. I can't imagine going in a group on a bar crawl.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the only one not drinking. I'd be like, I'm done with all of you. I'm going. I'm out. I'd be so tired.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Now, do you partake in any of the Girl Scout cookies? Because they're about to start pushing again. Those dealers are probably hard.
They
to
are dealers.
I know you are probably going to buy a couple bucks to support them.
No, I can't
then-
because of gluten. I haven't bought Girl Scout cookies in years. I take that back. I think they do have one. I feel like they might have one gluten-free one now. I don't know. But I am good with the gluten thing. I avoid it.
Okay.
I still have sweets and sugar. I just do the gluten-free stuff. So
Okay.
if they come up with
healthy.
gluten-free, it's my baby step,
Okay.
which is
Baby
a
step.
big baby step because gluten's in everything too.
Progress.
Toffee-tastic or gluten-free? Ah, crap.
It's ruined your sugar kick
Oh,
too.
crap. Come on.
I tell you what, though, if you show up with a Girl Scout with a case of Thin Mint cookies, I'm in trouble.
Oh, those are so
In
good.
Trouble.
The kryptonite.
Oh,
I totally understand addiction when you put one of those things in front of me because
Yep.
it will be a case.
Yeah.
I've got a number of nieces, and when the youngest one became a Girl Scout, and she called and she goes, "Will you buy Girl Scout cookies for me, Uncle Paul?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll buy a case of Thin Mints." And so that started a standard because then I had a whole lot more nieces and nephews. And so every time they would sell Girl Scout cookies, I'd have to buy a case from each one of them. So this time of year, we'd have like 6 cases.
You're like, twist my arm.
Thin Mints. And you can't let food go to waste.
No,
There's
absolutely
people
not.
starving around the world.
Yes.
In
So-
China, mostly.
Yes.
China.
Yes. Holy
Those
cow.
poor Chinese kids.
How many?
So now as a result, I wear athletic Oompa Loompa jeans.
Now, how long does it take your family to go through 6 cases of Thin Mints? Is that
Not
months?
as long as it should.
Oh,
Not as long as
yeah.
we'd probably go through a couple months, but I could eat a whole box just sitting down. Like if you sit down and watch TV, just grab a box.
Do you use
and just-
milk? Do you dip them in milk? I
Oh
love
gosh, no.
cookies and milk. Oh my God, cookies and milk. That's the best. You want to feel like total shit. Be in your 40s and drink milk. That's all you got to do.
You could crush them and then put them around the rim of a martini.
It's grasshopper. isn't
Skip
it?
the milk. I have no
Grasshopper
idea.
martini
I got
is
no
like
idea what
a
it's
Thin Mint martini.
But holy cow.
A grasshopper. Those are good too. I've not had that in forever.
And I think alcohol and sugar cancel themselves out, don't they?
Is that how?
I
pretty
believe the
sure- I'm
chemical
pretty sure that's how
reaction
that
to
works.
Yeah.
Yeah, the what is it? The sodies.
the alcohol
Diet
will
Coke.
like
You've never seen
sterilize
that
it.
videos? The 12 sodies can't. The Diet Coke cancels out the sugars.
What about when you do alcohol with Red Bull and everybody says your heart will explode? Have you ever heard that?
Oh, it'll wind you up.
Because one's a
Those-
downer and one's an upper.
Those are some
and
stresses
your
that you
body
probably should
can't
put on
fight
your
it.
body. Yeah, that's just like when you get in your
Oh.
car, you shouldn't hit the gas and the brake at the same time. Bad things might happen.
So you like vodka and Southern Comfort and Red Bull. tastes like college. Barley's.
That's a great
Plaza Cafe.
explanation. Tastes like college.
Plaza Cafe, Southern Comfort, and Red Bull. That's college. No, it's
Seagram's
not
said,
good. I don't know. Somebody older than us
all the
because we were
alcohol
young.
you would have at a wedding
Oh.
reception, never drink.
Oh God! I did a shot of wild turkey at a wedding once,
Oh, my
and I wanted to die.
Ugh.
I was like, "Who drinks this on purpose?" Oh, the thin mint s'mores. Ooh,
Your challenge is getting worse by the moment.
Oh my!
It is. Look at all these
gosh.
bad advisors coming in with all the things you're missing out on that you should be partaking in.
Jeanette has a good idea. If people want to skip the cookies, this era donates boxes to the military. You can pay for the box, and Girl Scouts will send it for
Well,
you.
listen, Jeanette.
Oh, that's a
Jeanette,
good idea.
Paul and I believe that all of these foods are literal poisons. So what you're suggesting
Poison the military.
is that we are going to send poison to the people who are protecting us and defending the freedoms of the United States. I think that is
Listen,
assault.
we
I think
tried to
it's
do
assault.
lobster and we got feedback for that apparently.
What?
So lobster,
Yeah.
have you been watching that?
Oh, that's amazing.
Apparently people don't like it.
Mm.
Why would you send lobster to the troops?
And steaks, big old porterhouses.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh God. People would complain about it. Stoli vanilla and Red Bull. Yeah, college bar special. Yep, I used to do vanilla vodka. I can't even say used to. I still do vanilla vodka and diet Pepsi. Speaking of diet, is
Yes.
it true if you mix diet pop in a mixed drink instead of regular, you actually get drunk faster?
I could see that.
Because
I've not
I'm
heard
pretty
that.
sure it
Huh.
works. I've always said that. And then I heard a bartender tell me one time, I said, I swear to God, when I mix with diet, I get drunk faster. And she's like, no, you do. And I said, seriously? She's like,
Interesting.
I don't know how. I don't know if it's the chemical, but
Well,
it's
I'll work
stronger.
on that and I'll see what's really happening and I'll tell you by the next show.
We got to
what's happening.
experiment.
I'm gonna-
You come back and we'll do live experiments on
No,
air.
This is
So-
formulaic experiments. I don't have to have the real thing. I could just see chemically what's happening.
So
Who
I'm going
wants
to
to
make
watch
I'm
us
going to make a
experiment?
prediction then.
Okay.
So I think that you would, because your body is going to digest alcohol first in the absence of sugar.
Yes.
If there is sugar, it's going to go after the sugar first. That's backwards. It's going to be backwards. So if you have Diet Coke, you don't have sugar. The alcohol is going to stay in your system, and you'll get drunk faster. I'll bet you.
It'll
you'll
take
find-
priority
It'll
because
take
of
priority.
the-
That's
okay.
right. Yeah,
I can
bet
see
you
that.
That's the reason.
So why
But
do
I can't-
you get drunk fast on antibiotics? I've noticed that too.
Are you down in NyQuil or something all the time, or?
Maybe it was just
Maybe
me.
she's got
Maybe
more
I'm
issues
just-
than we know about.
I
right
may
now.
we're
just
worried
be a
about the sugar,
ridiculous
and you might
lightweight.
have hit
And
it
then
with the
she-
heroin right off the bat.
No, I remember one time I went to a bar and I had been on antibiotics. You know how like even when you're well, you still have to take it for like days. So I forgot, and I remember at a bar and I was drinking, and all of a sudden I'm like, I had one drink, and I'm like, guys, I am freaking hammered.
Well, I'm
one
thinking it has less to do with the antibiotics and more about why you're on the antibiotics in the first place. So if you're fighting
Ah,
inflammation and you
very
eat a little bit
true.
less and your habits change and the alcohol's affecting that, it just so happens that antibiotics in your system at the same time.
It's also a
a guess. These are just
20
guesses.
something year old girl lightweight that could have
Probably that
contributed
more,
to it
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
I was always a pretty big
I'll bet you on the
lightweight.
back of that antibiotics bottle it said, "Do not consume with alcohol."
It
as
does,
well.
but I
Probably.
Wait,
forgot.
hold on. Why are we even
I
talking about something
forgot.
that doesn't happen?
I forgot. I was on antibiotics because I felt fine.
For science, I wanted to see why they put that on there in the first place.
Oh, that's so
Oh,
funny.
I used to work for a doctor's office many years ago, and I was doing an intake on a patient, and she was pregnant. And all through this intake, she's all like huffing, and she's so annoyed. And I said, okay, well, how far along are you? And she'd tell me, she'd be like, yeah, this is like kid number 5, and I didn't want anymore, and I didn't want to get pregnant, but she's like, and I was on birth control. And I said, really? Yep. Birth control apparently doesn't work that well with me. And I said, yeah, there's a chance, it's not 100% effective. So we continue. And I said, all right, any medications you're taking, antibiotics, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'm sorry, what? What did you just say? She's like, well, I was on antibiotics several months ago. And I said, antibiotics makes your birth control ineffective, right? And she's like, no, I did not know that. I was like, your doctor didn't tell you. You guys didn't know that? If you take antibiotics on birth control, it makes your birth control stop,
Interesting.
ineffective. And this chick was so mad because that's how she got pregnant. And I was like, oh, she's going to be mad
Wow.
at her
I never knew
doctor.
that. My goodness.
Yeah. So anybody who doesn't know, if you were on birth control and you go on antibiotics and you're trying not to get pregnant, you better be careful.
Mm.
Yeah. So do I, but my kid needs a stuffed animal.
Is that
Oh,
they
that's
sell
Jeanette's
cookies?
Thin Mint cookies for the military.
Oh,
They win stuffed animals for selling cookies.
Do they?
Oh, they get rewards for how much they sell. Yeah, there's a
I thought it was
prize
like,
component to it.
yeah, you get different patches and stuff, I
Mhm.
think.
Mhm.
Something
Such
like
a
that.
scam.
Rewarded for
Scam.
Oxy with a
Death
moxie.
merchants.
What's that? Oxycontin, Emmanuel? Is that what you're talking about?
No,
Oxy with a
OxyClean.
Moxie.
OxyClean.
It's
It's got to be.
Oxycodone? Oxy with a moxie. Dave and Buster's ticket, Guardians tickets, so much crap.
Yeah.
Dang, I
They're
don't
making
remember getting
billions
all
of
that.
dollars on cookie sales, and they're floating plushies to kids and for going out there.
Wait a minute.
doing the
It's
heavy
not
lifting.
like maybe a scholarship they can win or something of that nature. It's Dave and Buster's tickets.
I wonder if Jeanette
And-
knows how much of the budget the Girl Scouts is from cookie sales.
I bet you it's.
I
big.
bet you it's massive.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
There's got to be more they do with that money than just crap. But maybe the crap is what motivates the kids.
They like it, and that's all they have to pay them. I mean,
Yeah.
The girls
Dang.
earn about $1 a box. So the girls being the Girl Scouts, I don't remember my niece making money selling this.
I was a brownie and I don't remember making any
yeah, I
money.
think that's how they
Okay.
skirt labor laws. Is that if they give them direct cash, then you can't have minors doing grunt work of selling cookies. But if it's a prize thing and it's for a fundraiser, they can get
Then
away
they can
with
do
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
going door to door. Did you guys ever do anything door to door
Oh,
before?
yeah.
What did you do door to door?
I did Christmas card sales when I was probably 8 years old.
door to door.
Door to door.
Oh, did you make good money?
They couldn't pay me in money, so they gave you prizes, just like the freaking Girl Scouts.
Ah.
And my neighbors probably were so annoyed that they always bought these crappy Christmas cards because they wanted to support me. And like, I'll get
that's
a
nice.
gyroscope at the end of the, 3 months of
It
labor.
was also teaching you how to like work for something and,
and not get paid for it. Yeah, they taught
be
me
in
a lesson,
business,
of course.
yeah.
The Chuck E. Cheese model of
Yes.
entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucked.
Did you ever go door to door?
Yeah. Do you remember? I don't know if you ever, had somebody knock on your door as a business owner where they were trying to sell you like a group of pens or the mug or the coffee warmer. Like they just had a litany of junk in a box.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had to do that.
Mm.
Yeah. Didn't make a whole lot of money on it.
Ah,
And people
I
really didn't like you showing up at their door.
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
But
Yeah.
if you're a young kid, they tolerate it. You show up as a 20-year-old and they will slam the door right in your face.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I sold anything door to door, but when I was a kid, our school levy needed to pass badly. Like it had failed multiple times, and we were going to no busing. We were going to pay to play sports, and they were about to start cutting stuff. And so I think I might have been in high school, junior high or high school, and they asked students, so like, we need volunteers to go door to door and try to get people to vote for this levy. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. And people don't like that either.
So how do they do it? So I know you've got Ryan. I've not met your family, but how do you guys do it? So, Sam is 16 and he doesn't have to go to door to sell even like raffle tickets anymore or discount cards to restaurants. We just get a text from the school
Yeah.
that says donate to X. And then they convince my son to give him a whole bunch of phone numbers that he probably shouldn't be giving out.
Yes.
And then my relatives get all these texts. So they don't have to do anything anymore.
My nephew did that.
Yeah.
I just got a text, was like, nephew is selling something. Here's your digital catalog. Here's a phone number.
Yeah.
And I've seen Girl Scouts put QR codes in mailboxes.
Mhm.
They don't even talk to people.
Don't
They
talk to
just say,
anymore.
here's a QR code for something you want.
I just delete it.
I
'Cause
report it
usually
to spam.
I
wanna
do.
make-
I'm like,
I want to make
is
sure.
this real? Gone.
It's cheating, kinda. It's
Yeah.
like, where's your interaction with the public or your salesman training or your like ability to speak to somebody in a professional manner?
Sure.
And like,
I think that ship has sailed. I think in the future that's
Yeah.
not going to be a valuable asset anymore. It's all going to be impersonal, transactional, and we're not going to need it. Just like you don't need a calculator.
That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
That's a terrible path, though, isn't it?
I was thinking about that.
Afraid to say no.
My
Or
daughter,
hear no.
so she's 12. But we've been talking about college because Youngstown State has come to their school and you could take like a placement test to potentially start electives while you're in school.
Mhm.
And she passed. And is able to apply to college and everything and start taking electives, which we don't have any issue with because they have my husband's GI Bill, so their college will be free anyways.
Mhm.
So I was like, it's free college. Why not? What do you want to do? And she's super into writing, and she's looking at like an English major or something with journalism or something that involves writing. And all I could think is like, that sounds like a really great skill to have. If you want to do marketing and you want to know how to write up things like that, or journalism, can you do unbiased writing? And she loves to read and she loves books. Do you want to be a writer and an author? And then I'm like, but is she going to one day compete with ChatGPT and AI? And like, will there still be value in knowing how to write well if anybody can just plug something into the internet and probably write whatever she writes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here was a study that I was looking at last week. I want to know what either of you think of this. So this was a corporate office. Okay, probably 100 plus employees in a big office building in Tennessee, and they had it outfitted almost like Twitter was pre Elon Musk, where they had, you know, cappuccino makers and they had full kitchens, and they really pampered the people that were there. And they changed the way that delivery was happening. They were noticing like $40,000 a week in stuff was being consumed. And they thought that was a little bit high. They didn't know if it was like just traveling out the door. There's no way that 100 people could be going through $40,000 worth of stuff per week. So all they did was they put their badges. They made it so that everything was still free, but you had to scan it before, you had to scan your badge before you took something, and you could still take it. So everything from keyboards and mice and things that you consume, you put them in a vending machine, you put your pass in there, you hit on a keyboard, it drops out, you take it with you. They said that it dropped by 75% as soon as the people had to scan in. Still free, but consumption dropped by 75%. Thoughts?
Because you had to do something for it.
You had to identify that somebody was taking something. Yeah.
And it was free regardless.
Free regardless. No money, but just the delivery mechanism, instead of anonymous where it's a pile and you could take whatever you want, it was when you took it, you had to identify yourself.
Well, my first instinct would be check these things and make sure they're working properly. Are people just frustrated with it? They're like, yeah, it sounds like a good idea. Scan it and get it. However, my scanner never works. It always gets stuck. This malfunctions. Like, is there a problem with the transaction?
So human nature isn't involved. It must be some kind of technical glitch.
No, I'm saying human nature could be involved. But to rule out anything else, I would say,
okay, let's just
is
say
there
we
any
feel that
interest?
out. It's working perfectly.
I think that's a good idea.
It's working perfectly, and it's just you identify yourself, you get the free stuff. Why would it have dropped 75%?
Interesting. Who gets the information when you identify yourself?
Really, it was dropping in a table that nobody was even looking at. So nobody was really evaluating it. Just like setting up a camera in here that nobody's really looking at, the camera does something to you as the person that's being viewed, regardless if there's someone recording it or watching it.
Do they have any more information by you identifying yourself or
Just
scanning?
the scan you take. It just knows how often and what you took. And there's not a limit. You can take as much as you want. So it's not like they're trying to track it down, right? And
like, are you going to get hit up
too many
with
Red Bulls or something?
Are you going to get hit up with like spam emails or something?
Don't know. That's why
this?
we're openly discussing the psychology of why it would have dropped.
Well, I don't think, Joe, you need a raise this year because you took $1,500 worth of equipment so far. So I think we've compensated you already.
Okay.
I think you're selling stuff out of your garage.
Okay.
Ah, yeah. You're taking it to resell.
Yeah, I'm not worried about pens and pencils leaving anymore. You're taking all this other stuff.
Is that an adequate amount of oversight, or is that a little too big brotherish?
It's extremely big brotherish. So if you are... I think we're all business owners here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
I'm not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She is. She's an she is.
Okay.
Okay.
She is. All right. So if you set a standard, and I believe there's a company in town, and I don't want to misuse the name, so I won't say their name, leaves out gift cards, and their employees can take a gift card anytime they want one. They're just left out, and it's kind of a self-reward, and we appreciate your business. So you want to go out to dinner with your wife, take a gift card off the counter and go do it. And they inventory the gift cards more for replacing them. But if you are a business owner that is going to say, hey, I'm going to start to provide this benefit and give you something, the idea then that your gift just got too much and I'm going to start tracking you, is kind of ugly to me because it
Yeah.
becomes there's no other reason to do it other than Big Brother. Because what's the answer? You're taking too much stuff. We're not going to give away free stuff anymore. That's the only legitimate answer. Because if I'm willing to give it away and I know it's costing me 40 grand a week and I can afford it, why am I going to start tracking it?
Now, on the
Like,
consumer
literally.
side, though, what if you self-manage and regulate yourself if you know someone's watching? Doesn't that speak of the intentions? Like if you knew that you can share, you want me to give you a review, but it's anonymous.
Sure.
If I write down different things
They're
if I
never
know that you
anonymous,
knew
by
it was
the
for
way.
me, or if I signed my name, you knew it was for me. Am I going to say different things about you because I know that you're going to know that I said it?
Well, I think the view that you're looking at is one from the individual taking it and one from the company providing it. So from the company providing it, the move from we're going to do this, we can afford it, and now we're going to start watching you and recording when you do it. That moment to me is more of a Big Brother-ish move because the only answer that comes out of that is a reduction of the benefit. We're going to give away less. You can use your card 3 times this month. You can take stuff worth $400. You can't take $405, right? There's only so much that can happen out of that. It's not going to be positive. On the consumer side, the individual side, 100%. It's like I'm being watched. So now I'm going to change my behavior. It's the speed camera in front of the schools, right? Just the number flashing. Now I'm going to watch. Or you mentioned the security cameras. From the consumer side, it's very different. And it's a negative on both sides.
Does it make the consumer better, though? Being like, would you think it's legitimate? You would say something anonymously that you wouldn't say if they knew it was you? Which is the more truthful response or valuable?
I would say that I can't think of a good example where a negative reinforcement comes to a better output. You reinforce the behavior that you want positively, not negatively. Just because you beat me and I stop doing something, so you stop beating me, doesn't make me better.
But beatings might be effective if they change behavior.
The beatings will continue until morale improves.
I was saying, my husband used to have that sign in a building he worked in. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it'll change behavior for sure.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I learned that in a marketing class one time in college. I can't remember the term, but it was there's a term for people will act differently when they know they're being watched. Even if it's not a big deal, even if it's like you're not being watched because we're going to pounce on you for something, they just know they're being observed and you will act differently.
Yep.
There is a name for that because it happens in science when they start to study animals.
Yeah.
And do they act differently because they know they're being observed or they're in a non-natural environment? I can't remember what that's called.
Yeah, there's a
Spot on.
term.
Yeah.
There is a term for it. So it's like I work in radio and people always say, well, let me hear your radio voice. And I'm like, I have one voice. This is it. I don't change my voice. And then people started to say, actually, though, you do. Start paying attention to that. And I said, no, how can I, what? And I started to see coworkers that would have a conversation. And the moment they hit on air, they really do. The moment you feel like I'm now being listened to, I'm being watched, I'm being paid attention, your inflection will change. You do things differently. And I'm like,
well, you're straddling 2 eras where the radio and the radio personalities used to have an on-air voice by default. I mean, even if you listen to sportscasters, the Joe Bucks, like, they're not sitting around at dinner talking like that, right?
Or we called it the vomit, where they were like, bleh, bleh, bleh,
yeah.
all their words
but now,
like that.
The next generation is just acting more natural because consumers don't want the polish. It's not believable. It's not authentic. So you want the person that stutters and says and ands and stuff like that.
I mean, I am different here. I feel like I'm my authentic self. But yeah, like if I go to record for the other radio station I'm on, I smile because you can hear a smile. And so I smile everything I say, and it's a little more upbeat, and it is a little different.
I hate Joe Buck. I hate him.
Who? You hate what?
Joe Buck.
Joe Buck.
Yeah, Joe Buck.
What's the theme behind your other show?
It is just, so it's based out of Georgia, but it's essentially like 98.9. You ever listen to 98.9? So same thing, same format, same contest, same music. It's just called Sunny 100. It's based out of Columbus, Georgia, because I used to live there. So now I just record remotely, but same thing you would hear on an iHeart station here. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So not a lot of serious. I don't really say any serious content. It's just non-arguable bits and pieces of.
She makes people happy.
Yeah.
For that whole segment, make people smile. Yeah.
That's good.
I try. So Jeanette had said earlier, no one answers doors anymore. I make my daughter go door to door to sell cookies. Sometimes we see people in the house and they won't answer. I make her flyers with QR codes that say, sorry, I missed you, which I get that. I bet you people answer their door less, but I'm glad you make her try. But I watched one time before we moved back to Ohio. I lived in a cul-de-sac. And I'm like, what is that kid doing out there? And I watched this little girl just walk to everybody's mailbox. Flyer, flyer, flyer. That's all she did is walk to the mailbox and then kept going. And I was like, what is she putting in everyone's mailbox? So I went out and it was a Girl Scout cookie QR code. And I said, you didn't even try. You didn't even try.
Well, next time you should report them. Mailboxes are federal property.
It is.
And they're not allowed to use that to distribute marketing materials.
Yeah.
So call the cops, get her indicted.
In high school,
Sure.
I was a cheerleader. And around homecoming, cheerleaders will toilet paper football players' houses.
Oh, sure.
And so we would, once we were done toilet papering, get all the empty rolls and shove them in the mailbox. And people said, that's a felony. Like,
oh,
you
but the
can't do that.
vandalism with toilet paper wasn't a
Don't worry
problem.
about that.
Right?
That's
It's
all
the
right, yeah.
mailbox.
Yeah, that was fine. Just not the mailbox. Not the mailbox. The no-go zone.
See, in our house, when someone comes to the door, at least we do the appropriate thing is we hide behind couches so they don't see us in there. Now we're just like, I don't know, blatantly ignoring you and
Oh,
making you feel bad
yeah.
that we don't answer you.
Oh, I had a little girl one time. The couple that lives directly behind us, an old couple, and their grandkids come over sometimes. And every so often they'll try to come play with my kids. And we don't care for one of these other kids. They're kind of rude. And so my kids weren't even home, I don't think. It was me. I was busy. I see her come to the door, so I didn't answer it. She then goes around the back of our house to where we have a sliding glass door that she can see through because the front door she can't see through, and does this and bangs on the door. And I'm just like, if I didn't answer, don't you think it's not because I didn't see you? It's because I'm busy. Kids aren't home. What? Like, and I know it's a kid, but I'm like, come on. So I'm like you. I would like stand anywhere
Yep.
where they can't see you.
Don't make a noise.
Hide. Wait for
And
them
your
to go.
phone rings. Like,
Yeah. Because what's so funny is like, why would we even care if they see us? It's like, I didn't answer my door.
go away.
You don't need to see that I'm here. Or they suspect you're there. So they keep looking and they keep knocking. I'm like, if you suspect I'm here, what's the difference? I'm clearly not answering. Why do I have to hide behind furniture? I just don't want to talk to you. I don't want to answer my door, but we feel the need to hide.
That girl's going to be a wildly successful business person when she gets older.
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't accept that
Doesn't
first
accept
no.
I don't know though.
Those are the
If people
exact
are too
traits we want our
pushy-
salespeople to have when
Yes.
they get older. Did you
No.
answer the phone? Go to
I'm the
LinkedIn.
op-
Hang on
people
LinkedIn. Go to the coffee shop. Like,
I have given
hang on
people
their door.
I've given people business before because they were not pushy. And ones that are pushy, I'm like, get away from me. I don't like you. I don't like you. You feel dirty. You feel scuzzy. If someone's like, hey, here's something, call me if you want it. I'm out. I'd be like, I will keep you in mind. But your friend that is like crawling up my ass, nope, won't do that.
It's
I
so
like
funny in the like the LinkedIn world, the professional connection world. You'll see a lot of buyers complain about pushy vendors all the time. You just calling me all the time. You're emailing me all the time. That's not how to get a hold of me. I won't buy from you. And then why do people do that? Well, they do that because it works, right?
Yeah.
It's a law of math.
Mhm.
I can take 99 no's. One guy says yes, and I'm good. Now I'll just do 99 more, and I know how many
Yeah.
calls I got to make until I sell the 100 things that I want.
Well,
I'll walk around those houses and knock on your door.
I'm big into networking, and I know Joe feels some kind of way about this, so he can dispute it. But I love networking in person, networking events, things that I think some people think are a waste of time. But to
Because they are.
me, it's being in their face in a non-pushy way. Like that, you don't even realize I'm talking to you all the time. I'm seeing you all the time. I'm first to come to your mind when they're like, oh, I need a roofer. What roofer? Oh, I know this guy. I see him all the time at these luncheons. We chat all the time and he does roofing. Let me call him up. And to me, that is a way of always staying in contact, but in a less annoying way. You're still top of mind, but not pushy, not bothering
Do you want to
them.
hear my pushback, or have I said it enough
I do.
times
Go
for you?
ahead. Go
Really?
ahead. Yeah.
All right. So as soon as the marketplace knows that there are networking, then they pollute it by sending people to these things that are not decision makers or things people could say yes. So you have a bunch of low rung normies that are all trying to do the same thing. And then so you're in a crowd of people who can't do anything. You put me and Paul on a golf course, right? I could do more network on a golf course because nobody's sending their sales reps to do it. It's too long of a chain and it's one individual and the sample size is too small. So directed networking, where you're in the same place that people who make decisions are, very effective. In a room full of salespeople, not effective.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on what you're looking for. Like if you're looking to partner with somebody for a very serious, lucrative business deal, a lunch and learn is meh. You know, like you're like, I don't need a sales rep. I don't need to go to a networking event. This is something that I'm very targeted and very purposely sort of driven to a person who can make decisions. Mm-hmm. But those little lunch meetings and those little networking events could be lucrative for someone that's like, I'm not necessarily wanting to go to the CEO for $1 million deal, but this person needs a roofer. This person needs a plumber. This person needs a whatever. And they're like, oh, I know a guy. Let me call him up real quick.
Yeah, and
so
really,
they have
you can
little
spreadsheet it and say, what is the cost of acquiring whatever it is that you're trying to acquire? And so if you measure it and say 40 total hours spent and the number of, prospects that panned out, and say, was that a good expensive time to be able to get those things? Or is there a more efficient way of getting the same result without the investment of the time? We just find ourselves in an area where these groups are so numerous and the people that are at them are so low rung that it's not a good trade for time, and it's more social than it is actually a business.
Oh, and it is social. There's a lot that
I
could, because I used to work for a chamber of commerce, so we always did networking events, but it was a very, very small.
To you.
Yeah, it was a very small chamber. So everybody really did get to know everybody pretty easily, and there were definitely networking events that I saw no actual business transaction happen. But it was social, and that social started a relationship that a business transaction came from later, if that makes sense.
So I think the difference is, so one, do I know what I'm getting into when I go? So am I joining a chamber because I just started a business? I want to be a part of the community. I want to kind of outwardly put that message. I want to wrap and meet other business owners. And then
that's the bulk of it.
I get an email that says, hey, we're having an event. Welcome as new member. And you show up, and then you're sold like 52 life insurance policies before you get to dinner. Or somebody reaches out and says, hey, you're a great new member. Glad you're on. Why don't you stop by my office at 1 o'clock? We'll talk, get to know each other. And you show up and you're being sold a timeshare condo. I think it's the honesty and the transparency of what it is. So I'll go to networking events depending on who's in the room, level of the person in the room, so to speak. Or I might send somebody that has to learn how to operate and interact with that type of communication structure, and let them go. But I'll go more to a meet and greet kind of peer networking event where there's no sales allowed. There's no vendor in the room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And so we use a word a lot in my professional life called co-opetition. And so basically that is Joe and I to some extent compete with each other. He's in computers, I'm in computers. I've got a friend of mine runs, a networking group. We do networking group and sell those services at our firm. But we can learn so much from each other by creating those circles and sharing information. And there is so much dog food out there to eat that there's no reason for us to step on each other's toes. But if I would show up at that meeting and Joe would come to me and try to sell me networking services right away, I don't know if it's going to spark much,
right?
You know what I mean? Just because I'm not there for that. And so I'm kind of taken off. The other thing I might say is the relationship stuff. I don't know where you're at on it, but I'm right up your alley, but those are long-term sales.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I'm in a startup mode and I'm trying to get my life underneath me, a 2-year sales cycle will kill me. I'll run out of business before that works.
And you have invested time in nurturing something that can't pay out quickly enough
so to be worth it.
And I definitely 100% I agree on, like, why are we there? Am I just going to be bombarded with sales pitches? And one of the things that I liked, and I don't know a whole lot about the chamber here, but one of the things that the one I was a part of is the meetings were for a broad purpose that relates to people. Like it could be QuickBooks help or marketing info or how to utilize social media or whatever. It was like a mini seminar of this is something every single business uses. If you have questions, come. And in the very beginning, 5 minutes. Anybody here, raise your hand, say who you are, what your business is. That's it. That way you know, oh, I might want to talk to him later. I might want to talk to her later. You know all the businesses in the room and what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody is just here to learn about what that is teaching them that day. So it's not just like pounce and everybody pounce on like BNI. I don't know if I love BNI. BNI feels to me like
how many pitches
sell,
a week do you get on? Come to my meeting, Paul.
Yes. I was a BNI sub for people where my company wasn't part of BNI, but if a BNI member needed a sub, they could ask me and I'll go and represent them. And those are very sell all the time. And I was like, ooh.
Well, I think there's probably an evolution to this too. So how old is Youngstown Studio?
Studio was 2017.
2017. So you have 9 years or just over 8 years of invested time and effort in this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of gone into something. So Pelican 3's got 3 years. You've got, time in what you're doing. I think you kind of evolve, a little bit, and you're willing to have some of those conversations more as you kind of move into your business because you're making different relationships and trying to find different things. But that automatic, man, I guess I find more success today at this stage in my career in business age by offering people help. And then it comes back when they need something, as opposed to saying, hey, Joe, I know you run a business. Do you want me to do your books for you?
Right.
Which I know he has a business and I know he has to do books, but I'm not going to get a positive response at this stage, or at least I don't perceive so, if that would be my first approach.
Right.
And so I don't like being treated that way either. Right. So it's more of a throw it out into the world and it'll come back to you, which is a kind of a crazy concept. But that seems to be where it is, today.
Yep.
Yeah.
How do we get on that topic? Jeez. I think I just
door-to-door sales,
Door-to-door
maybe.
sales.
Sales sucks.
Yeah.
Sherry.
Yeah,
Two bald heads
He's
in
right.
this room.
He's right.
Do you notice the trend of bald-headed men is off the charts? Bearded, bald-headed men is the thing to do.
It's the manly thing.
Heck yeah.
That's why I never understand why men, when they start to bald, they do everything they can to just hang on. They do comb overs or they'll fill it in somehow and they're just like, hang on to every shred. And I'm like, shave it, because the shaved looks so much better than the
So you're saying women,
desperation.
when they start showing signs of age, they don't do dyes and they don't
Listen, there is
trying
a
to claw
double
back?
standard for women, okay? Listen, a bald man is manly. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a good look.
I'm
It's
field dressing a deer over here.
Okay, when a woman loses her hair, we
What?
panic.
Why?
Because it's not as socially accepted. Just like men age, they're gray, they're silver foxes or they're zaddies. Women are haggard and old.
Zaddies.
Listen,
Zaddy.
I need
Women-
to learn that word.
A zaddy?
Yes, I don't
so
know that
women
word.
yeah.
have
It's like
all of the aesthetic advantage in the beginning of the time. Do you think they dominate in the
So do
aesthetics? In
men.
the,
Come on.
you don't think women have a benefit in their, youthful looks in the beginning and take a supreme advantage over men in the beginning of lives?
How is that
1
different
to
from a
30.
very
hold on,
good-looking
I'll
young
finish my
man?
point. But then the pendulum swings, and now men get the same advantage in different ways later in life, and the women are like, "Oh, I peaked. Now I'm going down." It's hard when you have it and lose it than when you really can't even feel it, and then like, "Holy shit, where'd this advantage come from?"
Who do you think made that dynamic? Like
Human
to
nature?
to say a woman peaked, hit her peak attractiveness,
Yes.
and then tanked.
To secure a mate, to start a family. Now she doesn't need her attractiveness. Now the man
So
can go provide for family and use that advantage to dominate the world.
would you
That's the
agree
formula.
that
What?
women start off beautiful,
Yes.
and the older they get, the uglier they get?
Yes.
You agree with that?
Yes.
That's why they're sticking needles in their faces and getting all these procedures done, because
But
they
they're
are
doing that to
told
themselves.
you are now ugly.
No. They've already hit the acquisition parts. They've acquired a family and a mate,
What if they haven't?
but they should. They should.
What if they haven't?
They made mistakes. I don't know
made
why
mistakes.
they did.
What if they had high-
Biologically,
high
that's what they were
standards?
programmed to do. They're supposed to, by that point, have been set.
So if a single man who
Yes.
never got married and never had a family,
He made mistakes too.
he aged zaddy, silver fox.
Okay.
Woman is just a spinster.
Yeah.
How's that fair?
It's just happening at different times. You got to know that you're coming into your time and knowing if you're
That-
coming out blanks.
That would
right?
imply that in their younger years, the women are thriving and looked at as supreme and the men are garbage. And that's not true.
It is true.
Is
Women
that
are just
true?
delusional that they don't take advantage of their natural gift, right? And they
What's their natural gift?
Their beauty, their attractiveness.
Men also have attractiveness
But
when
they
they're
can't
young.
wield it like women in the beginning. They can't.
Yes, they can.
No, they can't.
Look at all these women that like have all these issues chasing after men and giving them all these chances
I know, but
again.
really, you're supposed to be securing a family and a mate, right?
Is the man?
Aesthetics in a man, right, is not defined by their looks, what they wield in the marketplace, and what if they could fight, and if they could kill things, and if they could provide, right? That's all of the advantage. Now, women started going after also attractive men. They're all going after the 1% of also pretty people because they have, for some reason, culturally, we added significance to
You only
that.
have 1% of attractive men.
All the women are going after 1% of the attractive men.
It's hard being Joe and I.
It is. We're not in the 1%. We're not.
But we just said the whole like bald and beard thing is like in and manly, and
Yeah.
it's a plus.
It is
Not a
plus. But
negative.
we had to wait 40 years to get there.
So women have their plus young.
All over young years. Yes.
Are you saying as your wife ages, she's becoming less attractive?
Every one of them. Yeah. They can't help it.
Oh my God.
Your
I can't
body
believe he
is
said that.
is
I would
trying.
never say that about his wife.
I really thought you were
your-
going to spin that
Your
somehow.
body is trying to deposit itself back in the ground, right? It's aging out.
Would you tell your wife, sorry about your luck, but I'm actually getting better looking as you get worse looking?
It's an unspoken truth. It just is.
That sucks. I totally get now. My dad said to me one time, sometimes he watches the show, so maybe he'll remember. He told me one time, he's like, you know, my misogyny is getting better. And I said, is it? He's like, yeah, I really think it is. And I said, how so? And he's like, well, I feel bad for women now. I said, okay. And he's like, you know, men get handsome as they age. Women get ugly and haggard, and I feel bad for them. And I was like, I don't
If
that's misogyny getting better.
It's patronizing.
if women buy if they don't know, if they put stock in their looks on something that will ultimately fade on every one of them, that's a bad choice, right?
Yeah.
So use your aesthetically pleasing gift that you got just by being born. Use that while you can, but also build things other than that to be useful later when those things have faded. That's the wisdom that needs to be imparted on women, because you're not going to be able to hold on to those things forever.
What if someone is born and they're not particularly attractive?
Yeah,
Are
they
they
end up
just
building
screwed
skills
forever?
and things they can control, and they are able to, balance the scales and make use of things that they weren't born with.
You want to weigh in on this?
So I don't know.
Dangerous territory, Paul.
I have a wife to go home to as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I would say maybe to be a little bit more even down the road is
The middle ground.
middle ground. I think it's undeniable that there is a provider archetype in our society and there is a nurturer archetype in our society. And like it, love it, or leave it, the male is generally on the provider type and the woman is generally on the nurturer type, right?
Yep.
So as men age and get older, we acquire more resources. So do you, but acquire more resources, acquire more wisdom, and that increases the size of the tools in our toolbox to be a provider, right? Today, that's probably money, but it used to be farms, cows, acres, like we just acquired and became to be able to provide. And I don't think you can dispute that. And if you try to, you end up with a whole lot of these other problems where we just can't even talk to each other as a society anymore, which I'm surprised there aren't any more comments on this when you guys started talking. But
Come on, Julie, where are
Take the
you?
hornet's
take the
nest.
hornet. But as we get older, and so I didn't marry my wife just because of her looks. I married her for other things. And I think she married me for other things other than, my looks, hopefully other than my looks as well. But as we get older, the things that make us attractive to each other are, one, I'm hopefully fulfilling my role for the house, and she's fulfilling her role, as a mom, and she's a great mom, and we have wonderful kids. I would not be as good of a parent as my wife is, right? We just have different skills and talents. But what we've built each year is a set of familiarities and a set of memories and a set of habits, and our lives kind of move and go into the same direction. And if I have to start that over today, then my attractiveness to somebody else almost has to be physical because there's nothing else to base it on at that point in time. So I don't think it's bad to recognize that we kind of peak and valley at different times. It's to recognize that we are together for different reasons other than that. Does that make
Playing
sense?
different roles over
Playing
time.
different roles.
Yeah.
I am a much better provider, which I think, and I take very seriously as a man and as a husband. I think I'm a much better provider today than I was at 22. And I had 2 kids at 22, right? You know, but I think you get into trouble when you start to want to shy away from those 2 archetypes just generally and don't recognize
and thinking
that
one
they're
is more important than the other, than together that they have a cooperation
Correct.
in a relationship.
So this is kind of interesting because of what we were talking about last week.
Yeah.
I recently came back from a women's conference,
Mhm.
and Joe was saying, well, that's not really, is it fair to have something that is just women's? Is that, you know, being unequal and
discriminatory.
and
So the word I
discriminatory?
use,
Yes. And so I said, well, I see the point in that, but would you agree that men and women then are 100% equal? And he said, yes, but we keep coming up with these different examples and situations in which we are actually not.
But
and
our,
it's not
our definitions of equal is what is strayed because
Right.
of the activism.
Right.
So it's like
Yeah.
denying strengths for the sake of the person that doesn't have that strength. So you're tall, I'm short, right? Do you think being tall has its advantages?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think being short has its disadvantages?
Yeah.
Are we equal?
no. Oh, and
Okay.
In terms of
not
height.
in
So
height.
what would equality be? Would it mean denying your advantage in your height for the sake of not making me feel bad because I can't pick that apple off of the tree? Or, right, are we equal where I'm going to, use my strengths where I'm at, and then we're going to cooperate when it comes to apples? You're going to be picking the high stuff and I'm going to be picking stuff off the ground.
Yeah. So if I go to a conference for people that can reach things on high shelves,
Mhm.
should we invite you? Are you going to feel good going to it?
Well, I knew it wouldn't be for me because I would be at the conference over there for short
Right.
people that are good at picking things up off the ground.
So what's the difference if it's a women's
But
conference?
it's the denial or the delusion that goes into the equal conversation. I don't buy into the equal conversation at all. Because if you have to be in denial about something that is a strength because you're feeling guilty about it, or you have social pressure to keep that in denial, if you're smart, you say you're smart. If you're short, you say you're short, and you live in whatever your advantages are. It's when you're in denial, like if a girl gets a job, right, and she's not good at anything, she got it because she looks good. That was her leveraging it. But if she's in denial and she tells herself she got her job other than because of her looks, that's in a delusion. Like she's trying to make herself feel better. And then I have to buy into delusion and say, oh yeah, it was probably because your total skill set.
You know, it is interesting, this sort of strain a little bit, but my husband is short. I've always been noticeably taller than him. And it was weird how when we started dating, how often I felt as though I had to like justify something, like being a tall woman with a short man. People find that very odd than a tall man and a short woman.
Mm-hmm. Based on what he said.
Yeah.
So why do you think we have a lot of the those desires in a mate, right? If you're a provider, are you going to pick a big guy or a small guy? If biologically you know that their role in that archetype is that they're the provider, one's going to be better at it.
Like had I just seen him out somewhere, I may not have looked twice, but
Right.
I met him through somebody, hung out together, developed an interest, and then I went, okay, now I need to know if his height bothers me because I really like everything else.
Yeah.
But if it were just walking by, I'd be like, probably look for tall.
You conjured Julie.
Yay, Julie! Kelin, when you go to a 50-year class reunion, you will find this conversation is crap.
What, guys do not age gracefully? Just the one
Is that what you mean
the,
by
the
that,
ones
Julie?
that are in Kellen's presence are aging gracefully in Silver Fox.
Julie's like, all these nasty men at the reunion that did not age well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No zaddies at her class reunion.
What is that? What is it? It's a combination of what we're.
Zaddy is like daddy. I don't really know why there's a Z in it, but it's meant to be like a sexy older man. Yeah, like if you Google
I'm
zaddy,
Googling.
it's like the silver fox, the gray, the beard, the distinguished older, and it's like part like daddy, but zaddy is they're a little older. And I don't know, the whole like calling somebody daddy is a little twisted in my opinion anyways. It's very weird, but That's a zaddy. Sexy older man, right?
Yeah, sexually attractive man, especially an older one.
Yeah.
Who's fashionable character. Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I had an interview with a sugar baby.
really?
Yeah, it was probably a year ago.
Like a real one?
like a real sugar baby. Yeah.
Ooh.
She was probably mid-20s. All right.
Okay.
Aesthetically very pleasing. And
Does everyone know what a sugar baby is?
I'm assuming it's the mate of a sugar daddy.
yes.
Yeah. So,
it-
sugar baby.
these are girls that
pleases
go
the sugar
and
daddy.
they make themselves available on these sugar daddy baby link up sites.
yeah.
And a guy will pay a couple $100 to have some kind of relations. It could be anything from hanging out to making an appearance with somebody at a cocktail party, everything to what you would think that those things might result in. And I was most interested in the interview about like the trade-offs you have, like what is appealing about it. And this sugar baby that I was talking to, that the dating scene with their peers were so annoying, the guys that she would have to deal with. If she picked an older guy who was already established, knowing that it was a throwaway relationship, they didn't have to take it, but got all the benefits of a disciplined, responsible, achieved older man, right? Meant that she didn't have any bullshit. They could pay for everything. They had access to a lot of things. It was a lifestyle that they couldn't purchase with their own peer group. And I kind of understood it because both were getting something out of it. There was no downside. The baby was experiencing something they didn't earn into, and the daddy wasn't, have to keep someone around that obviously wasn't in that strata, but under natural circumstances.
Yeah.
So.
Like in Pretty Woman, where he hires her because he needs a professional for certain events and things like that.
That's exactly right.
And the sugar baby's like, I'm going to make some money by not hanging out with children for a night.
Now, if you want to throw a wrench into this,
Yeah.
because you like wrenches.
I love wrenches.
So I like to read a lot of books. And so there's a book called The Goddess versus the Alphabet. And it's a good read. It'll take you about a week to get through it. But the premise of it is prior to Christianity, so prior to the church having enough wealth to generate the text documents and distribute the Bible, that society was run, and the most powerful of the sexes was women. And so the pre-religions were women. The head of the clan was a woman.
Is this around the Dark Ages? I'm assuming that Dark Ages.
I won't go there. And the whole premise of the book is that the church, so Christianity being a masculine-led religion, generated the literature that became the wideliest publicized written narrative with a machine to spread it across the world that put the patriarchy in place. And it is a result of Christianity. And prior to Christianity, the woman was the head of society. Considered the strongest, considered the smartest, considered the widest.
That's interesting too. Yeah. So, funny enough, the conference I went to, it was a women's clergy conference.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm clergy, but I am sort of developing into a leadership position in church and things of that nature. And our religion accepts female leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Not all do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny that I've been in a lot of these conversations of like, well, why don't some? And, there's scripture that I had to admit, I said, listen, when I read this, I get it. I get why they say no woman should speak or lead or preach in a church. And I definitely see that. And I've even been told like a lot of it is marketing and appealing to men because that's how it kind of turned to be is men became the leaders in the church and the women sort of got quelled and we kind of ran with it. And,
for sure. Well, historically, the wealthiest among us have been landowners. So who's the largest landowner in the world? It's Catholic Church, right? And then it's subsidiary Christian churches. Who leads all those churches in the traditional sense are men. Obviously, that is trying to change now. But so you literally have the component which built wealth and controlled society and created the control over media being an organization 100% led by men, which were teaching teachers who were also men, who led the congregations were men, who were the missionaries were men, and stamped the books were men. And so you led with a mechanism, kind of a, set of glasses that was patriarchally driven or masculine driven. It's a fantastic book to read if you want to dig down into that.
Well, now if we adhered to our two archetypes that we just talked about, it would make sense when a civilization was being forged You would have men who will take on more risk. They will fight and conquer and, take territories and whatnot. But it's switch over to the nurturers to keep those civilizations flush and defended and whatever. So you wouldn't have a United States, like if a woman was in control, like all the administration was women, and you had access to the economy, you'd have military, all of the things. Do you think a woman would handle all of those, sort of different categories better than a man, or vice versa?
I'm going to get so much hate.
Yeah.
There are some jobs and positions I would feel more comfortable a man being in than a woman.
Give me some examples, and why you would choose a guy that would have better. I'll just let you answer.
I have experienced the fact that women, like it or not, biologically, we are emotional and our hormones fluctuate. Not that men don't, they do. I know personally, if I were in a position where I have the power to put my finger on the red button, it would depend on how I'm feeling that day as to if I'm pushing it. And I'm not saying women can't ever be in a high position. And I certainly don't think anybody, man or woman, is the only one making decisions. And I like that. But if I am being honest with my own personal bias, I would trust a man to be a smidgen more logical thinking than a woman sometimes.
Well, in departments, though, where protecting people and attached to people, I would want a woman in control because they would go first human beings over things and, properties and gold and oil and whatever. I'd put the human being first, and I would trust that a woman would do that more instinctively than a guy would. So I think if you were really, again, we're too delusional to actually do this in practice. But if we just said, let's take natural strengths, let's take developed strengths, and put the best person that would do that job and don't care if they're a man or a woman, right? Put the best person for it. I think we'd be better off.
You know what's something I would like to look at some data on? It would just be interesting to see. So my husband was in the military, and as a military spouse, like, it was nice. People would often be complimentary and would always be like, oh, you have such a great job. You have to hold down the fort at home and you have to do all these things at home. And I always thought that was like just something nice they say, like, give me a break. What he's doing compared to what I'm doing, not even comparable, but I appreciate what they were trying to say. And then I thought about it and I was like, kind of those gender roles we mentioned of children, house, bills, everything that, their day-to-day lives are being controlled by one of the couple and the other is fighting or overseas or doing whatever. It would be interesting then to see when the military personnel is the female and the military spouse is a man, if those marriages are more strained than vice versa. Like if the man
for your
is
husband, you were creating stability. So he could go off and do things that were out of control, huge risk, that he knew that his nest was stable. Okay. It had nothing to do whether or not a man or a woman can make a stable nest that's dependable and you don't have to worry about it. So I can be over here fighting, don't have to worry about my nest at home. So can a man play the role of making sure that their spouse that's taking big risks doesn't have to worry about what's going on?
Absolutely. Sure. But do you think the roles would feel different, I wonder?
That'd be an interesting question.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though, that you use the words hold down the fort at home. So if you kind of get away from male, female, husband, wife, and there's a head of the family, right? Mm-hmm. And so we call our houses our castles, right? So even laws about protecting your house are castle laws. So this is our castle. And so when your husband went off to serve, your castle still exists, right?
Yeah.
And so you became the head of the castle when your husband, was away. So the concept of even using the term holding down the fort at home expresses how important your role is in that family unit. When the head goes away or the husband went away to fight, you became the head of that castle, in your home. So the use of words here becomes kind of really, really, interesting.
Yeah, Henry VIII goes away. Who's running the castle while Henry
Who's
VIII is
running the
away?
castle, right? They're still ahead of that castle.
Kind of why I'm the heavy with our kids, I've noticed. Like, their whole lives I've been like, how come you can be the fun one that they play with and they joke with, but everyone in the house knows, don't tick off mom. Don't make mom mad. We got to ask mom first. Can I do this? Well, ask mom first. And I'm like, when did I get to be the heavy? Oh, because he was gone. I was the only grown up there, and I had to
stepped into that role,
keep control and not let anything go awry. And so I had to kind of be the heavy from the get-go.
That's something I think that though we miss a lot, right? So when your husband went away, you stepped into that role. So obviously, regardless of the fact that you were a man or a woman or had a certain gender, you have those skills in you, right? You have those capacity and personality traits in you to serve in the role that's important for you to serve in. If those weren't important to you, your house would have just crumbled, right?
Yeah.
Because you just would have let the kids run off and do whatever they wanted to and waited for your husband to come home. But that wasn't the case. It would be interesting in your flip your flip scenario, how that works.
Yeah.
But understanding that humans are humans and we all have a capacity to kind of, do the things that we need to do and develop the skills that we need for what's important to us is often lost. And we look at somebody and go, you're a woman, you cannot do X. You're a man, you cannot do X. And those are just such flawed arguments that all they do is split us right down the road.
Yeah.
And then you have Joe wanting to cancel all women's conferences, right? So
if they never mind.
no. What is interesting
there were some men there.
What is funny about your original point, though, is men by nature, though, are more aggressive on par, right? There are exceptions to that. So do you want the person who's in a measuring contest with the guy in the other country saying, I got more missiles than you and I'm going to blow you up right now, right? And it's less of a maybe humanitarian reflection and more of a...
And if a woman is more calculating and can put different things that a man would be considering about the use of those missiles, it's not about testosterone and who's got the bigger missile. A more reasoned approach would be if you take the person that could do it if it's ready to go, be governed by someone who's a little bit more reasoned. Those two working together would have a better than if either one of them were in control of that lever.
Who was it Bush and Condoleezza Rice? Was that president?
Yes.
Secretary of Defense? Yeah. Okay. So you had the traditional male president, tall guy, right? And then Condoleezza Rice, female. She's Secretary of Defense, I think, right? Or Secretary of State?
I believe so.
Secretary of State.
State, I know is state, yeah.
Yeah. Today you have Trump and you have Hegseth and then, somebody else, he's Department of War. So 2 periods of time, and I'm not sure when your husband served, 2 periods of time where one was a response to a physical attack, right? So we've always had the same gibberish and rhetoric and, yipping back and forth and measurements, but it was a response to an attack. And you had a more, I'll say, structured, media felt, kind of general patriotism felt, deliberate. This is right. We've kind of crafted the right thing to go after it. And today you have Trump and Hegseth who just want to shoot the biggest freaking missiles that they can. And it's a proactive event and not a reactive event. Now, I'm not saying that is a good explanation of the 2 sets of aggression versus kind of a more thoughtful approach. But we do have a very specific set of instances where we are blowing up people on the other side of the world that we never have to look at. And one was treated way differently than now. And you have 2 kind of different sets of emotions running it.
And that could be a case study. If you looked at all of those combinations over time, I bet you're going to see that same profile.
I would wonder. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard they say if you want a group of people to bond, give them a common enemy. Way easier when we're attacked to come together and say, we got to defend ourselves against this enemy, other than when we initiate. Now we can be a little divided. Like, wait a minute. Should we have? Shouldn't we have?
All right, Paul, thank you for coming down and joining our conversation
appreciate
today.
Surprising you and interrupting you
and
meeting you today. So for sure.
And thanks everybody for listening and watching. And Kelin, thank you. I never thank you when we do these things, so it's due.
Thank you.
Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. This is original Youngstown content. Feel free to share our videos and tell your friends about us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook. Thank you for your support.